The midday sun beat relentlessly against the smoked glass of the First Continental Bank branch, but inside the atmosphere was refrigerated, sterile, and tense. At the far end of the teller line, the queue was growing. Every customer was quietly irritated, their focus fixed on the source of the delay, a woman standing at the single open window. She was dressed in clothes that were slightly mismatched, a worn tweed jacket, glasses perched askew, and a perpetually confused expression. This was Amelia. She was taking an agonizingly long time, fumbling with deposit slips and asking the teller a bewildering array of repetitive, redundant questions about basic account procedures. Behind the counter, Elias Thorne, the alleged branch manager, was a portrait of tightly controlled frustration. He was young, sleek, and dressed in a suit that was clearly designed to project authority, but his forced smile was now brittle, stretched thin by Amelia's incompetence. "Madam," Elias finally said, his voice loud enough to carry over the quiet hum of the air conditioning, a performative display of professionalism designed to placate the growing queue. "We have established that the routing number does not change based on the weather in Seattle. Can we please move this forward?" Amelia squinted at her deposit slip. "But my niece lives in Seattle, Elias. She said her bank is always slow when it rains." "I just want to be sure this goes through before the coastal humidity changes the magnetic strip." She paused, then tilted her head toward the check she was holding. "And is this check? Is it too wrinkled for the automated counter?" "I kept it in my purse." Elias slammed his hand silently on the counter beneath the window, then forced a deep, theatrical sigh. "Ma'am, with all due respect, we are managing a portfolio of several hundred clients here. Your account balance, which, frankly, is negligible, is not dictating the macroeconomic stability of this institution. You are holding up 20 people." "Please, think before you speak." The line murmured its agreement. Amelia looked crushed, her shoulders slumping further. "Oh, I see. I just thought—" "My husband always says banks should be polite, no matter how small the client is. That's why we chose First Continental." Elias leaned forward, dropping the professional veneer entirely. His voice became a sharp, contemptuous whisper, though still loud enough to be heard by the closest customers. "Lady, your husband is clearly an outdated sentimentalist. This isn't a charity, it's a bank. We prioritize efficiency. Your confusion is costing us money and wasting my valuable time. Frankly, people like you shouldn't be managing anything more complex than a vending machine." Amelia's confusion suddenly vanished. She set down her purse, her back straightening to a rod of steel. The subtle shift in her posture silenced the entire branch. "Elias," she said, her voice dropping to a cool, resonant alto that commanded immediate attention. She placed a hand flat on the counter. "Do you see this deposit slip I've been holding?" Elias frowned, annoyed by her sudden shift in tone. "Yes, it's a $20 check. I saw it 5 minutes ago." "No," Amelia corrected, pushing the check toward him. "Look at the counter on the slip. I was depositing $20, but I was also using this process to test your integrity and patience." "That test, Elias, you just failed spectacularly?" Elias chuckled, a nervous, patronizing sound. "Look, ma'am, I don't know who put you up to this, but I'm the branch manager here. I suggest you apologize and—" Amelia cut him off, her eyes now dangerously bright. "No, you suggest nothing, Elias, because I am Amelia Vance. I am the wife of Arthur Vance, the CEO of First Continental, and I am personally the majority shareholder of this entire institution." The silence in the branch was absolute. Elias went visibly pale, the blood draining from his face, but he quickly recovered with a sickly, desperate smile. "Mrs. Vance, I am so sorry. This was an isolated incident. I was under immense pressure, and your questions—" "Your behavior was appalling, but sadly predictable," Amelia continued, her gaze unwavering. "My husband sent me here precisely because he suspected the recent reports of excellent branch performance were fabricated by a manager who prioritized appearance over customer care." She paused, then leaned closer, her voice hardening further. "But the insult wasn't the biggest problem, Elias." She pulled a crisp, folded printout from her tweed jacket pocket and slid it across the counter. "It was a forensic audit report. My husband didn't just send me here to test your manners, Elias. He sent me to test your financial activity. We've noticed a substantial, untraceable float of funds leaving this branch via manipulated debit card pre-authorization holds. Amelia tapped the report. Your name isn't Elias Thorne? Your employee ID is fake? The real branch manager, a dedicated man named Michael Rodriguez, is on sudden, unexpected leave you personally approved 3 days ago? Elias Thorne's veneer shattered completely. He didn't try to speak, he tried to bolt. Stop him! Amelia commanded, her voice cutting through the panic. 2 men who had been standing discreetly at the back of the queue dressed as unassuming customers, but with the posture of security detail moved instantly, cutting off Elias's escape path toward the staff exit. Elias was trapped, his elegant suit and false identity meaningless. Amelia watched him struggle against the 2 men, then addressed the stunned crowd in the bank lobby, her voice authoritative and calm. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. This man is not the branch manager. He is an outsourced temp employee running a sophisticated debit card scam, and he is now under arrest. She turned back to the defeated man, picking up her worn tweed jacket. Elias, I may have seemed slow and confusing, but that was just the costume. The truth is, I understood every single number you processed this morning. And unlike you, I know that true value is measured not by the balance in the account, but by the integrity behind the counter. She nodded to the security team. See that he's processed? Amelia Vance walked out of the sterile silence of the bank, leaving behind the chaos she had orchestrated, her mission of dismantling the fraud and upholding her husband's bank's integrity successfully completed.